welcome up UTRGV
Today,
President
we welcome
Guy Bailey.
the University of Texas.
Thank you so much. You know, I have a rule that that Chase can never precede me when I talk because he's such a good speaker, right? It makes me look bad. That video, hey, I got to follow that now. That's quite a video. Thank you. Thanks so much. And good afternoon. I want to welcome all of you here today. We have some special guests. By the way, we have the president of Houston Christian. Would you stand and let us give you one of our fellow members of the Southland Conference. This is the third time we've been in the same conference. It's been a long time, but we've been together, and so we anticipate a wonderful, friendly rivalry with Houston Christian, right? Texas A&M Corpus Christi, Incarnate Word, right there in San Antonio. Think about it. Think about this. It's my pleasure to officially announce that UTRGV has accepted an invitation to join the Southland Conference as a full-time member beginning, get this, July 1st, 2024, right? That's right around the corner. You're going to end, if you're a student here, you're going to end classes, and pretty soon we're going to be in another conference. And it's quite an opportunity. We're really excited about it, and on behalf of the entire UTRGV community, I want to thank the Southland Conference, and especially Commissioner Chris Grant, who's with us today. And as you get to know Chris, I think you'll appreciate him as much as I do. When I first met him, I walked away and told Chase, you know, this is a good guy. I'm impressed with this guy. And everything I've come to know about him since then has simply reinforced that. He's a good man, and we're lucky to be on his team. And I want to thank the other Southland presidents, many of whom couldn't be here today, but they provided unwavering support throughout this process. I've talked to several of them. There's some good folks in this conference. You're going to enjoy getting to know them. I've enjoyed getting to know some of those presidents, and I really think it's going to be a terrific fit. Now, as we embark on this new chapter of joining the Southland Conference, I want to highlight, and I'm really thrilled to highlight, the profound impact that this decision is going to have on our university. And I think this gives us a great platform to enhance our academic reputation as the #1 ranked university in Texas by Washington Monthly. I love seeing, Patrick, I love seeing those signs all across the valley. As you know, this past year, Washington Monthly ranked us #1 in the state of Texas. I think what we're doing with this will elevate our student experience, not just our student athletes. It's going to be great for our student athletes, but it's going to be great for our entire student body. Think about rivals in San Antonio, Corpus Christi, Houston. Think about that. That's going to elevate the entire experience for all of us. It also opens the door for collaborations with our peer institutions, and it's going to help us foster some academic partnerships as well. Some research initiatives with our other institutions that I think really will drive our research agenda as an institution and will help them too. There are a lot of things we can do together. Remember, we're the only school in the United States with both a School of Medicine and a School of Podiatric Medicine, right? No other university in the United States has that combination, but we have it here. And remember, we have a broad range of health-related programs already. More are on the way. Just wait. And then we see our membership in the Southland as an opportunity to share some of our specialized programs. We look forward to creating pathways to medical school and School of Podiatric Medicine for students at Houston Christian. students at Texas A&M Corpus Christi, Texas A&M Commerce. We think we can generate some great partnerships there. And so those partnerships are going to be really important for us going forward. So keep in mind that this is an athletics conference, but it helps create academic partnerships too, right? It helps elevate the student experience as well. And again, our membership in this conference reinforces our dedication to our community engagement, our regional prosperity, and we think the entire communities all of our communities in the Rio Grande Valley. And if you're when you're visiting us, you'll learn soon that we belong to the entire Rio Grande Valley. We're not the University of Texas at Edinburgh or at Brownsville or at Harlingen or McAllen. We belong to the entire Rio Grande Valley. And if you talk to our students here, you'll see that they represent the valley as a whole. So, in essence, joining the Southland Conference really represents a transformative moment for UTRGV, and I'm confident that this decision not only will elevate our athletics program, but serve as a catalyst for the advancement and success of our entire university community. At this time, I'd like to welcome our Vice President of Athletics, Chase Conk, to the program. As I told you, he always has to follow me when we speak. Chase?
Well, good afternoon. Thank you, Dr. Bailey, and thank you for all you do. How blessed are we to have President Bailey leading our institution, right? We are so lucky, Dr. Bailey, for everything that you do for athletics, but certainly for the entire university. Today's another milestone. You know, I feel like we've been saying that a lot lately. Another milestone for athletics. But this is an exciting day. It's certainly a day filled with optimism and one that we're excited to officially get going as we accept an invitation to join the Southland Conference as an official full-time member this summer. I feel like today is a day that really says we got it right, right? We got it right. We got it right for our institution. We got it right for our alums, for our students, for our region. But most importantly, we got it right for our student athletes. I also want to extend my deep appreciation to Commissioner Grant. Thank you for all your work during this process. To the presidents of the Southland Conference, athletic directors, the conference office staff, we very much appreciate your belief in UTRGV and your patience as we work through everything in fairly short order. We have a few special guests. Steve, you're elevated to president. Yeah, elevated to president. We've got a couple of athletic directors here. Steve from Houston Christian, I appreciate you being here. Adrian from A&M Corpus Christi, and then I think Richard Duran from UIW is on his way and will be with us momentarily. I also want to recognize the conference office staff. Would y'all raise your hands so everybody can see y'all? We've had a busy 24 hours. They've been locked in with us, spending a lot of time with our coaches. But again, thank you all for coming to the Valley. I think the fact that we have representation from conference membership and we have so many from the conference office to help us announce this sends a strong message that you guys are with us and behind us and excited just like we are. I also want to acknowledge our coaches. Would our head coaches please stand that are here? All of our head coaches. This group is a hard-working group, a group of believers, and certainly a group that is very excited about what we're talking about today. And I appreciate the messaging, the positivity, and what you're going to do with our student athletes as we move into the Southland Conference. Many ask why this announcement, why the conference, and I think it's pretty simple. It's really about student athlete well-being. It's about their experience. It's about finding a partnership with a tradition-rich conference, and it's about regional Division I competition. I feel as an AD, it's really incumbent upon us to create environments for our coaches and our student athletes to be successful. Right? That's what we can do to help our programs be successful, is create those environments. And I believe as college athletics is so rapidly changing right now, we talk a lot about this internally. We want to control the controllables, right? There's a lot going on in the landscape, but we want to focus on ourselves, and I think that served UTRGV well and will continue to serve UTRGV well. We've worked methodically to build a first-class athletics program, a first-class student experience, and really to try to create an environment that will give them the ability to have success. What's in that environment? And I want to talk about a couple of things that are happening at UTRGV right now. First, our community support. Our fans, what we're seeing from the Rio Grande Valley. The president talked about it. We are the Valley's Division I institution. We are the Valley's Division I team. Last week, we celebrated an unbelievable gift from the Vacker family. Bob and Janet Vacker did something for our athletics department that very few athletic departments across the country get to experience. We're seeing record attendance. We're going to top over 100,000 again this year, fans coming through our gates. We had 4,300 at the baseball game on Saturday night here on campus. We're seeing record ticket sales. We're seeing corporate partnerships at an all-time high, and we've already sold, I think of this morning, 3,600 football season tickets. So the community support is certainly there. Because of this investment, we've been able to focus on our budgets, right? It's about making sure that our coaches and our student athletes have the resources they need, and we've made strategic investments in travel, nutrition, academic support, making sure they have what they need at their fingertips. We have a great group of coaches. It's about leadership, and we have a tremendous group of men and women that lead. Today, our 260 student athletes, which soon will grow to 420 student athletes as we launch our 2 programs here in the coming year. I should stop and make her stand up. I do want to introduce our day 2 on the job, our new head coach for women's swimming and diving, Betsy Graham. Would you please stand? She didn't know that it would be this big of a whirlwind in her first week here, but glad to have you, Coach. But after coaches, we have facilities, and I don't think it's any secret that we're doubling down on making sure that we have top-notch facilities for our programs to compete. With the stadium announcement, you have the Vacker gift, now Vacker Stadium, and all the other facility enhancements that we're doing across the board. Every one of our 18 programs are impacted by this investment. And when it's all said and done, over a 4-year time period, come August of 2025, we will have invested $160 million in athletic facilities for our department. So we're serious about championship success, and we're serious about the student-athlete experience. But the final piece of the puzzle is making sure that we are in the right competitive environment, making sure that we're in a conference with strong traditions, a tight geographic footprint that makes sense for all of our programs. Today's announcement, I believe, is truly us controlling the last controllable here, putting ourselves in a position, but more importantly, putting our student athletes in a position to experience success and still continue to experience the beauty and the positive outcomes of being a Division I student athlete. This announcement today is 100% about our student athletes. We value them in their entirety, mind, body, and spirit. And we want them to experience everything that is beautiful about Division I athletics and competing here at UTRGV. Some of the positives: missed class days. That's going to be something that we're going to see a significant impact. Our student athletes are going to be able to reduce their time on the road and be in class. And already with a 3.34 GPA, Dr. Bailey, maybe we can get that up just a little bit more if they're in the classroom. Reasonable travel. We talked about the regionalism piece. You know, we're going from our furthest trip being about 2,400 miles to our furthest opponent being about 680 miles. Think about that. That's a drastic difference, right? So we're putting that footprint right here in Texas and Louisiana. More time at home, more time for our student athletes to study, for them to train, for them to rehab. And when you're doing that, you have a healthier student athlete. You have a healthier student athlete. And that healthier student athlete is going to be in a better position to compete. And that's where we think we can expect championship success in the years to come. The timing was right. The timing was right, and I think over time, as we look back on this day, we're going to see it as a true milestone day for our athletics department. But I do want to thank the Western Athletic Conference. We were members in that league for 11 years. We appreciate the competition. We appreciate the leadership and friendship of the commissioner of that conference, Brian Thornton, and we feel good about our contributions to the WAC. But we sure are excited to turn the page and join the Southland Conference. This conference is steeped in tradition. It's produced national champions, highly competitive across the board in so many programs. Men's basketball had the number 12 seed this year in the NCAA tournament, and they've provided incredible opportunities for thousands of student athletes since 1963. It's comprised of 11 phenomenal institutions, like-minded institutions. And then how about this statistic? The average membership is 25 years. 25 years is the average membership tenure of the institutions that make up the conference. We look forward to welcoming these teams to the Valley. I look forward to our fans and our student athletes getting to travel to these phenomenal college communities. I think our young people and our fans are going to have a lot of fun, and our student athletes' families are going to be able to watch their young people compete more. They're going to be able to watch their sons, their daughters be able to compete because of the geographic footprint. This is a new day. It's an exciting day. We have a new conference, but I can tell you this, the goal is the same, and we want to continue to graduate champions and take care of our student athletes here at UTRGV. So very excited and very grateful and very appreciative to the Southland Conference. Look forward to being a great member. Look forward to doing our part, Commissioner Grant, and look forward to working with you to elevate the Southland, and I know you're not slowing down, so we appreciate everything that you do. It's now my pleasure to welcome the Commissioner of the Southland Conference. He's been in this role for about 2 years, and I think you'll find that he has great passion for what he does, a great passion for the league, and I think a lot of enthusiasm about UTRGV and our membership. So please help me welcome Commissioner Chris Grant.
I almost ripped my paper up. I've now learned not to follow either one of them. Set this up. Chase took like every talking point I had in my back pocket. But first off, thank you again for having us. Myself and our staff appreciate all the hard work that went into this venture. It wasn't something that has happened overnight. There were a lot of tough questions asked from Chase and President Bailey, as well as from our membership, ensuring that we got this right, ensuring that we're pursuing the member that would take us to another level. And just by the excitement and the energy that we've seen today, being around campus, not only from the staff, the head coaches, even last night, and Lisa hosting at their home, we just really enjoyed it, but from the student athletes and hearing what their passions are, like, their aspirations of graduation, what class programs they want to stay a part of, and how this will help them not only excel in the classroom, graduate, and then go on and do bigger and greater things, and a lot of it happening right here in the Valley. And so after my first conversation with President Bailey and Chase, I knew it was right away that there were, because we talked academics before we talked anything athletic, and why this move made sense, and where Dr. Bailey, saw this progress of the university and what he wanted to capitalize on that. So once I was able to bring that back to our board and show them that, hey, this is bigger than the Southland, and this is bigger than competition, it really was a no-brainer. And then, of course, once I actually landed and saw the passion in the Valley from all three boroughs, you just go through and you see it. The signage, to me, I think every other highway billboard has #1 on there, and I said, yeah, that's President Bailey's work. And so that's awesome. We might try to get a couple of Southland in there. Make sense if you will share a little bit. But as Chase mentioned, the student athlete experience is what we hang our hats on, right? That's our North Star in everything that we do. And we won't waver in that. We want to continue moving forward as a conference. Look, we rebuilt this, and our stability is bar none. I don't think any conference in the country can say they're as tight-knit, as stable, and progressive as we have been. And we don't have all the resources to do it, but I tell you, our membership, our board, our athletic directors, they fight every day for those student athletes to create a better tomorrow, ensuring that they're graduating, ensuring they have an elite experience, and they hold our conference officers responsible. And my team has stepped up to the challenge year after year, and look, we won't waver in that either. We're going to continue to be innovative, continue to be aggressive. We're going to continue to talk our junk as we go through, and look, in this move, ultimately, we want to be successful. We want to compete for championships, right? And we've seen it, Chase mentioned, having the 12 seed in men's basketball this year, winning the NCAA tournament again last year in basketball, how we've improved that. Let's talk about football, having the semifinalists 2 years ago in UIW and winning national championship, before that. So championships do run through. We had a bowling championship, even though we no longer have that. But, look, we don't just roll out the balls and expect this competition to happen. We want to strategize and be innovative in everything that we do and ensure that we're leading and leading by making change and being progressive and really not sitting to the side of anyone else and just accepting that. But I really wouldn't be here today without our board of directors, right? First of all, enable me to go out and do what we do best as a team and attract new members, but more importantly, to truly set the course for our athletic directors, our senior administrators, and our advisory council as a whole. So really appreciate them and their vision and all this, and really sticking with each other for that stability and the camaraderie that we have in the room. And we're not looking to break that, but we want to be very intentional that, look, no, we're not stopping, right? We're going to continue to be aggressive. aggressive. We want to continue to grow the Southland to what our league has been for the last 60-plus years. And look, so along the way, some relationships might have to be mended, but we look forward to that because we're in a new day. We're going to be progressive in that and all that we do. But I also want to give gratitude to our athletic directors right here, as everyone else mentioned. Just really appreciate that. It shows the support of our league. I can't tell you this was happening 3 years ago, but we're all on the same page and we're all going in the same direction and we're not leaving anyone behind. So this move right here at UTRGV is going to take us exactly where we want to go. And look, we're not looking back. We're not looking back, all right? We're going to move this forward. And I'm really excited about that. Excited about football coming aboard in 2025. It's a lot of pressure on you coming in right away, and the coaches competing for 24-25. You know, look, the expectation is come in and compete, but our teams aren't going to roll over either, right? And so they're chopping at the bit, not only to see your fans come in and see some of their venues and really take part of the communities. And that's really something else we've been intentional on is, look, we're coming to your towns, but this competition breeds the communities really into growth. And right here in the Valley, you see that day by day, and the way you all have been resilient to change, you know, in a sense, and receptive, but also resilient and keeping those traditions that happen through and through in the Valley, and the support. I think even seeing a baseball photo from the other night with over 4,000 fans in that stadium. I mean, that's very impressive. I've seen this. It's the same here, Fieldhouse packed out. There's been a lot of competitions I've seen, like Corpus Christi or UIW or HCU come through here, and it's like, man, that's gonna be a tough one to get in there tonight. And look, we've had some success, but let's see what happens here going forward. I'm really looking forward to that. But our membership, they're investing continuously. I know you all investing here. We heard some of the accomplishments we've had thus far, and I think look forward to locking arms and doing that together and taking us and making change. So on behalf of the Southland Board of Directors, our advisory council, and our current student athletes, I just want to say welcome to UTRGV to the Southland Conference as our 11th member, and looking forward to a new day.
There you go.
Okay.
You get to put a hat on, Dr. Bailey.
All right. Like the NFL draft a little bit. I'm ready.
Commissioner, on behalf of UTRGV, here's your first Vaquero Southland jersey. So.
Here we go. Thank you all. That's how they do it. Thank you.
You bet. So at this time, President Bailey, Commissioner, and I will take some questions from the media. So I don't know, Jonah, do we have a microphone going around? Matthew?
All right, just let us know who your question is for specifically, so we give the microphone to the right person. Yep, Brandon.
This is for Chase. Brandon Benitez, Channel 5. Of course, you know, a monumental week for you guys this week, making the move to this new conference official. Just talk about the relationships for the teams that were already in this conference that you kind of have a familiarity with.
Yeah. You know, what's really neat is we're going to get to forge some new rivalries and some new relationships, but at the same time, we're going to get to renew some of our rivalries. We've been very, very blessed to be able to play Houston Christian, to play Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, UIW, but now, you know, we get to expand that throughout the state and throughout Louisiana. I will tell you this, for me personally, this is a coming home. I was born in Thibodaux, Louisiana. My grandfather was the head football coach at Nicholls State and McNeese. My father played at Nicholls and also coached at McNeese, and was a longtime Southland Conference football coach himself. And so I'm so familiar with the league. I have such tremendous respect for the institutions that make up the conference. I love the fact of the like-mindedness of the institutions, the value, the premium they put on intercollegiate athletics. But at the same time, as presidents, you're running an entire academic enterprise. And so to be able to balance those, I think the Southland Conference gives us that. And I'm excited to be able to go to the communities and have our student athletes and fans experience the wonderful college towns in the conference.
Ali Haloum, the writer. So my question is for both Chase. We know that UTRGV has hosted several WAC tournaments. Do we expect UTRGV to have that same commitment as a member of the Southland?
Yeah, 100%. And the conference staff commissioner can tell you from day one, if the very first conversation we had, talked to him about that being such a big piece of the puzzle for us here at UTRGV. And the beauty is we've been able to host our championships throughout the Valley: Brownsville, Farr, Edinburgh, McAllen. We'll have our tennis championships this spring in Harlingen. And so the conference office, we've already started those conversations. We already know what championships are open for bid here soon, and we want to continue to do that because it brings great Division I athletics to the region, but it also brings an economic impact that we know is very important.
This was more for the commissioner of the Southland Conference, Ray Silva from South Texas Border Sports. For you, when did the process start to kind of like try to bring in UTRGV as a conference member? When did those conversations start, and how were you able to just bring them in as quickly as you wanted to into the conference?
Well, I'll tell you, it's quite organic, and the fact that Chase and I truly didn't meet till late December. Truly, I think I was here for an actual non-conference competition with Incarnate Word on a basketball game. So we were able to visit, have a quick chat, but there was no true membership affiliation spoken about at that time. But obviously, we've had an interest for a very long period of time as we look to grow our league and our membership. And so, we have our board, our whiteboard, that we're constantly updating and kind of positioning ourselves. That we never want to be reactionary, right? We decided we want to be proactive in this space. So from that December meeting, it really, Chase had done a lot of his own homework. There are a lot of questionings, and from there, we really made this come to fruition here in the last, say, month or so, and what that looks like, and that might even be too generous, probably in the last 2 weeks, looking at that. So, but obviously, as us, our board, as I mentioned, really wanting this to happen and truly wanting to expand to the Valley, it was a no-brainer once we knew, we had an opportunity to do this, and so, glad and thrilled that we're able to get it done.
I got a couple questions. One for the Commissioner, Ruben Juarez from Channel 4. How important was the addition of a football program at this school in your guys' decision to offer them an invite?
That was a priority, right? Not only a member that was being progressive, is going to provide growth to the league and the conference and live in a booming area, but having football was kind of, I want to say, not overarching, but as a primary concern in the sense that we wanted to add another team, have a full conference schedule, and in order to keep those games more regional. Now our schools aren't getting on charter flights going to play other non-conference competition, that maybe those opportunities wouldn't exist if we had a true 8th member of the league or 9th member of the league when it came to football. So, look, it's an opportunity that now those student athletes, and I know primarily the team that's coming incoming will be recruited from Texas, right? And you see a lot of our rosters that are already in our conference, primarily Texas, Louisiana, or some bordering states. Now their families, moms, dad, grandma, grandpa, they can come watch them night in and night out in competition. And I call it, you all hear me say this a lot, as a gas tank league, right? Now, it might take 2 gas tanks now to get a couple places, but it's still a gas tank, and we're getting that through. And so, really want to take advantage of your all's fan base, traveling and getting to see the great cultures in Louisiana, what we have in North Texas, from Houston and Lake Charles and Beaumont. But not only that, but our other fans getting here and seeing the traditions and the culture here in the Valley and really expanding upon that. So I hope you host them well. I hope you show them a good time with some rivalry, and I hope we forge going forward some true competition between the lines that it'll be exciting for all.
Another question, looking at the facilities they have here, the football stadium, the aquatic, you obviously don't have aquatics, but you look at the pro basketball arena right down the road. With all that facility going on right here, how soon do you think they might be able to host a conference championship here at UTRGV?
Well, thankfully, and I know my athletic director to my left are staring at me in my face right now, make sure I don't promise anything. And so, but with that said, the opportunities are endless. Look, right now, some of our our basketball championships are locked in. Baseball will have an interesting concept coming in next year that the top 2 seeds will actually host a regional. So we'll send 4 teams, basically the number 1 seed and number 2 seed. So right away in baseball, without putting the bid in, you have an opportunity to host and hopefully create a creative thing that's really setting a trend in the right direction for college baseball as a whole. So you can see that coming to fruition. As Chase had mentioned, we've been talking championships most of the morning too, what's coming online. We're pretty locked in for this upcoming year, 24-25, starting in 25-26, a lot more opportunities to come to bid. So I want to take advantage of all the great facilities not only being invested in here on campus, but some of those other opportunities that are here off campus that may be in Brownsville and other around this valley more so than anything. So we're looking forward to not only providing a great experience for our student athletes, but Chase had mentioned the economic impact is big to us because, again, this community is growing and it's growing, with and without the Southland, but we want to contribute to that, this growth and being excited that I think it's top in Texas right now and in the world or in the country. I was told earlier as far as city growth. So looking forward to that and contributing, and our members I know are excited to get down here too. And then, seeing where all your alums are throughout the footprint is another big piece of that.
Hello, Brian Ramos with RGV Sports and the Monitor. My question is for Chase. Chase, if you can speak on the plans and the timeline for swimming and diving and men's soccer as you hope to find them a home as you join the Southland Conference.
Yeah, over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be able to announce more for those two programs. We've had a lot of conversations even before Coach Graham took the position. We made her aware of what was coming down the pike, and then also with men's soccer and Coach Hancock, talking through several different options. We feel really good about where we are because this moves so fast. In a perfect world today, we could say this is exactly what it's going to be, because certainly I would have loved to have shared that with our student athletes with a definitive answer. But knowing how quickly this moved, we're going to need a couple more weeks to work through that. But feel great about both those programs and a conference home for them for a long time.
Yes, hello, this is Luis from Univision and Fox News. Can you speak a little bit about that emphasis on how students are going to spend more time here in campus as well?
What was the question?
Yeah, Chase.
For me?
Yeah.
Chase.
And what was the question? Sorry?
Yes, on how students are going to spend more time here on campus.
Students
Yeah.
more time on campus? Yeah, so as you look at the travel, and that was a big piece of this, being in a regional footprint, right? So the 11 institutions being right here in Texas and Louisiana. When you think about the grueling travel that our student athletes had to do when we would go to the Mountain or Pacific time zone, it was tough. And I've been here 5 years now. We had some great experiences and some wonderful places that we got to travel, but you're having to leave sometimes 2 days earlier, and it's not just the front end of that trip, it's the miles that you have to travel between competitions, right? So if you're on a Thursday, Saturday schedule, that Friday is truly all a travel day, right? So our student athletes aren't able to rest, they aren't able to practice for a lot of the times, and so being able to reduce all that, keep it into a regional footprint, we think we could go, maybe as a department as a whole, it could be 30 less missed class days, based on our calculations and talking with our friends from Corpus Christi, which give us, that's close proximity, and so knowing what their student athletes miss from a class perspective, that made it, that stared at us pretty hard on the paper when we looked at the disparity between what we've been doing, but where we will be in the Southland Conference.
This question's more for Chris, but Chase, I'd like your comments on this as well. This kind of predates both of your affiliations with UTRGV and Southland at all, but going back 11 years ago when this university was trying to find a conference home, the Southland has not welcomed Pan American before, UTRGV before, for a variety of different reasons when this place was looking for a home. Why now? Why is this a right move for the Southland Conference now to bring UTRGV, and what was different then based on your conversations with presidents and athletic directors in the past?
Yeah, no, good question, fair question, because it's a question I was asking tremendously as I was really doing my due diligence and doing the research. I kept asking myself why, right? And why can't we have this conversation? And again, they were great members of the WAC, and we weren't going to violate any confidentiality and things of that nature and looking to do that and poaching. But at the same time, the question was still why. So we have some athletic directors and some board members that are around at that point in time, and memberships just change, right? Membership and boardrooms change. change, and really is no consistent answer on why, but today is now, right? And we made that change, and we made it quite swiftly, and being on the same page, and that UTRGV was not only a target, but someone that we wanted a part of our league that can contribute right away and being part of our membership. So look, we accept the Bronx. I hope I can still say the Bronx, as a part of this. And again, we want to unite, all campuses that are coming through it, because look, we're not going to do this alone. We understand everything doesn't happen right here on this campus. There's plenty of campuses that contribute to the history of what UTRGV is now, and we're not going to forget that as Southland members. We're going to acknowledge that. We're going to amplify it and tell the story, allow us, as Chase and Dr. Bailey allow us to. But look, we want to celebrate the Valley, and UTP at that time, the other campuses, all part of that.
Yeah, it's certainly I was the one sharing the information with the president and helping do our due diligence and research. But this is everybody, right? This is the community celebration. This is everybody in the Rio Grande Valley, our legacy institution, certainly UTRGV. We all get to celebrate in this moment, and I think everyone here knows how proud and rich of a tradition we have. As you look at some of it here in this building, we stand on the shoulders of that history, and we don't shy away from that. But at the same time, I think a lot has happened in the last few years. I think you look at what I shared earlier about the community interest and really seeing our community come together for Division I athletics, understanding what we're trying to accomplish, what the entertainment and the value add that we're trying to bring to the community, and then you got to acknowledge football. Football is a big piece of this, and as we and all of our coaches can tell you, as we were talking about the importance of football, not just from the brand recognition and the enthusiasm and everything that it was going to bring, but conference realignment is, if we thought it was done in 2012, history has proved that that's not the case, right? So it is a constantly changing environment. And so when you can add Division I college football to your portfolio, it does make you a different enterprise. And I think we were able to be maybe a little bit more attractive in these conversations because a football member was needed in the Southland. That's a big piece of it, but it's everything that's happened, what the president has done. This is more than just athletics. It's the entire institution. I see Dr. Hinojosa here, our senior VP for Strategic Enrollment, Student Affairs, the Campus Life initiatives, all the things that are happening. This is truly an acknowledgement from the Southland Conference that they want us to be a part of their membership and a part of their portfolio, and we're proud of that.
Lord.
Hi, this question is for Chase. Now, the whole point for moving is basically to cut travel expenses. What is that money now going to be used for going forward?
Yeah, great question. I appreciate that one. There will be natural cost savings, right? If we're not having to get on as many planes and stay on the road, extra hotel nights, we're certainly going to experience some cost savings as we make this transition. From day one, I shared this with our coaches last week, and we'll continue to share with our student athletes. We're blessed, and I hope you're okay with me saying this. President Bailey, this isn't something he came to me and said, we need to find cost savings. He said, how can we do better for our student athletes? And so as we worked through this, we're now going to be able to reinvest those dollars and those resources back in our student athletes. And I look forward to working with our coaches and our administrators because that can look like a lot of different things. We certainly have needs. The men and women leading our program, they're nodding their head. They have needs. But once we identify those cost savings, we're going to be able to reinvest it back and be able to do more for our student athletes. And then you add that to what I talked about earlier of more time at home to train, to rehab, to go to school, and then you have more resources. That's where we can get, that's where things can get special, right? And that's as we are on a journey for championship success, that reinvestment is going to be very important.
And then what was the reaction of the student athletes?
Yeah, it's been very positive. We had, I don't know, Commissioner, what do you think, about 35, 40 at least student athletes that were able to come by today to meet the commissioner. it starts with our coaches, their positiveness about this and excitement for it. And then, of course, that ripples, has a ripple effect through the department. But the big thing is, I think at most of our student athletes, 60% are from Texas, right? 60% are from Texas. 100% of our football recruits that we'll have joining us this fall are from the state of Texas. And I think, Coach Bush, you've heard from a lot of recruits and their families already, as some of our other coaches have. They know they're going to be able to watch their student athlete compete more and more often. So it's been a very positive last couple of days from both the internal, the student athlete, coach in front, but as well as our alums and the former student athletes. They all know that this makes sense. This is where we belong. This is where we fit, and it's been great to hear that positive feedback. Yeah.
Anything else?
Great. Well, we are going to make a couple of coaches available up front here for the media, so you're welcome to move forward to this time. This concludes our press conference. Thank you all for coming. We have some refreshments over in the back. I'd say we won today. Now let's go earn it every day. V's up.